Hi, I went to Eurogamer Expo last weekend, the Eurogamer Expo, and I'm gonna fucking talk about it. So I've been to the Eurogamer Expo for the past 3 years, and what I've noticed increasing is interest in indie games and PC games. So the first year, there was the Indie Games Arcade, and it was kind of a fucking ghost town. There were a few people who were interested, but generally, you know, there wasn't much buzz there. I had plenty of time to choose any game I felt like playing and just, you know, I could play it right then. Next year, a little bit more going on, more interest. This year, it spilled out from the sort of the nether regions of the indie game arcade into the rest of the show floor under the name of Rezzed. So, some of you might know, Rezzed was a show in Brighton about PC and indie games, and I didn't get to go, which sucked, but it's spilling out into the fucking real world, as much as the real world as you can call the Eurogamer Expo, which is very dark. It's like you never went outside, and it's night, which I liked. It's really fucking dark outside. This is not a good time for me to be filming. I've had to goatsy that aperture to make this in any way tenable, and probably if I move even an inch in either direction, I'm out of focus, and I'm sorry about that. But what I'm saying is unclear. However, Rezzed. So while there were massive queues, fucking huge queues, enormous queues, horrifying queues for Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty game, shit happens, but there were also queues for a game called Prison Architect, where you can design and run your own prison. And it had a whole stand to itself, and there were always people playing it, and that was really cool, and it signified a real change and shift in a way that makes me happy. I'm happy, I'm thrilled, I'm glad. I actually am. Generally, going to an expo is a bit of a disheartening experience because it's just a shitload of boring games on consoles. So I played Dishonored, and that seemed like a really cool game. But I'm going to play it on PC. The thing that annoyed me about it was that it was really, really, really easy to not be noticed. And I chose second from hardest difficulty because I cannot into controller, and maybe that had an influence over how spottable I was to the AI, but they were fucking blind, essentially. And I don't know, I played Deus Ex Human Revolution on the hardest difficulty, so that's what I'm kind of comparing it to. But maybe if I played this on the hardest difficulty, it would have been a little less forgiving. And I hope that when I do play on PC, it will punish me for, like, fucking hi as I walk by. The other console game that I'm pissed that I won't get to play, because I don't have PlayStation 3, is called something that I'm not sure of. I've forgotten the name. It's here, Dunce. And it's a survival horror wherein you are an animal. When you're a dog and you kill enough, then you are eligible for a mate, and your mate will follow you around. I want to be a dog and get a mate. Another game under the Rezzed banner that interested me that I have no footage of, but maybe I can steal some from somewhere and put it here, was Chompy Chomp Chomp, which is a fucking shit name but a really fun game, and I beat the developer at his own game. And that's something I like to be able to say about a game. Essentially, you're a little guy and you run around and your feet change colour, or the area around your feet changes colour, and whatever colour that is the colour of the chompy that you have to chomp. I don't know the correct terminology, but it was fun and had power-ups and was cool, and I want to play it more. That's the end of the story. There was a cannibal to like that is this. This guy is terrible at this game. Watch him die again and again. He won't stop dying. Game is fun though. I'd play that game in another situation. I like cannibal to likes. What can I say? Another one, Air Buccaneers, which looks incredibly appealing visually and looks like shitloads of fun. And the alpha, I think the beta, a Greek letter of some description, hits on the the 15th of October. There was a shmup a couple of years ago called War Twat, and there's now a sequel to that, and War Twat was just like an insane shmup. Sort of in league with Space Giraffe, is that what it's called? You know, a bunch of shmups by this guy that are all insane and just kind of stupid, but funny, up to a point, and then it's just like, this ain't the game, and I'm bored of it. But this was sort of in that style, but actually eminently playable and fun. Natural Selection 2 is something I've been looking forward to for ages. When I used to post on V3D, I remember just posting news articles about Natural Selection 2 and being like excited about it a lot. You might have seen that, you might not fucking care or no. Regardless, I got to play it and it was fun. You can be either a man with a gun or an alien with a more chomping, but more satisfying chomping, because there are teeth on the screen and they're munching shit. And I don't know if I'd ever want to be a man and shoot things when I can be a monster and I can jump things. So that's an issue I hope they face up to, and I hope that they implement. I don't know if they have already. It wasn't obvious when I was playing it. Well, it didn't happen, basically. I hope that what they do is they switch it around so that you can make your preferential choice, but then when the round is over you swap over and you have to play as the opposite, in the opposite way. Because otherwise it's not going to work for me personally. Maybe it will work. Maybe loads of people want to be fucking dudes and they want to shoot fucking aliens. But come on guys, let's police this. Let's make it fair. They also have this mechanic where you can be the commander, you get in the chair and then you see a top-down sort of RTS perspective and you tell people what to do. And if you're playing with good teammates, this is going to be awesome. A really cool way to increase the depth of the game and have a lot more fun and be more involved. Unfortunately, playing with other people can be a bit annoying because some people are idiots. I've been playing a lot of Dota 2 lately, and people are idiots with some pretty high frequency in that game. They don't fucking listen. Ping, 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 no. They don't care. They'll stay in that jungle. Likewise, I think I'm a bit worried about Natural Selection 2 being the same, but hey, guys, let's listen to each other and work as a team in every game and make the world a better place. I got to play the new SimCity game, which I'm extremely psyched upon and about and inside of. Can't wait for it. I only allowed myself to play the tutorial, so I can't really form a good judgment from that, but it seemed nice. I liked zoning. That was something that I can't wait to continue doing. The only issue was the resolution. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I've noticed that they have a few videos up and they have the same whack resolution issue going on, and I assume it's just something, it's not ready to be rendered in a decent resolution. Hoping that's the issue. Hoping that's not an issue, hoping it's just the way they're presenting it. I also played a bit of Far Cry 3, which was good. Again, I didn't want to play any of the game really, so I just sort of drove around a bit, shot some people up, and that was about it. I had an issue on my PC that the sensitivity was like insane. The sensitivity was insane. I went into Windows to turn it down. I turned it down all the way, right down to the beginning of where sensitivity begins, where even grandma fears to tread, and it had no bearing. It was still ridiculous. And no option in the game. I don't know what was going on. Regardless, it was fun, and it felt nice apart from the insane sensitivity, and I think that's going to be a game I will buy. I think pretty much every game I've talked about I would buy at the right price. And the right price does vary significantly, doesn't it? Doesn't it just? I also got to play some GoldenEye, which you might not expect in these modern times we're living in. The Eurogamer Expo has this thing which is just old games, essentially. Just a sort of museum of old games and old systems. And it was packed the whole time. And it was nice to have something that was sort of like a celebration of gaming rather than just sort of an advert for a game. Like, I'm down with new games being showcased, obviously, but it was just sort of nice zone to be inside of with a bunch of other people who really like games, and get the chance to play GoldenEye and a bunch of other neat stuff that you might not expect. So yeah, I really enjoyed this year's Eurogamer, and it was a winner, and tune in next year for the next one, I suppose, although there might be some videos before next year, maybe. I think so. Okay, goodbye.